London, just the name itself conjures up images, doesn't it? Big red buses, black cabs, that funny clock tower with the big bell. It's a city that feels instantly familiar, even if you've never actually set foot there. It has a way of doing that, you see, a sort of gravitational pull you can't quite explain. You just know it's going to be interesting, a proper adventure. It's a sprawling, magnificent beast of a place, this London. Always changing, yet somehow always itself, which is quite a trick. New, shiny buildings shoot up like metallic weeds overnight, but the old bits, they hang on tight, bless them, stubbornly clinging to their patch of history. You can turn a quiet corner and feel like you've stepped back centuries, or find yourself suddenly in the gleaming, polished future. It's quite a balancing act, that. This essay, well, it's an attempt to get a bit of a grip on London, to explore some of its famous nooks and its less famous crannies. We'll have a look at the astonishing variety of people who call it home, and the deep, rich history that seems to seep from its very stones. We'll even peek at some of its odder habits, its little quirks. And the food, oh yes, we must certainly discuss the food. So perhaps put on your most comfortable walking shoes, metaphorically of course, unless you fancy a brisk trot around your living room. We're about to dive headfirst into this magnificent, occasionally bewildering city. A city that's a whole world all its own, really. London awaits, and it rarely, if ever, disappoints its visitors. It's quite the show, and the curtain is about to go up. London isn't just English, you see, not by a long chalk, not anymore. It's a glorious, wonderfully bewildering muddle of pretty much everyone. People from every conceivable corner of the globe have ended up here. They say, and I'm inclined to believe them, that over 300 languages are spoken within its boundaries. Imagine trying to order a simple cup of tea in all of them. You'd be there all day and possibly miss your train. It's a city truly built by arrivals. This incredible mix makes London terribly exciting and endlessly fascinating. Down one street, you're in what feels like a little slice of Bangladesh, full of colour and spice. Turn the corner and you could be in Poland or Jamaica or Turkey. Each community brings its own distinct flavours, its own unique sounds, its own particular way of doing things. It's like a never-ending international festival, only with a higher chance of rain, probably, being Britain and all. And what about the Londoners themselves? The ones born and bred here, or those who've been here for ages and become part of the furniture? They have their distinct ways, their little rituals. Queuing, for instance. It's practically an Olympic sport. A silent, orderly shuffle towards whatever goal awaits and saying sorry an awful lot. Even if it's clearly not your fault at all, it's just done. A reflex. Politeness is frightfully important, even when everyone's in a tearing hurry. Daily life for many often involves the tube. That's the underground train system for the uninitiated. A rumbling, screeching, sometimes sweltering metal snake beneath the city. Millions of people use it every single day. Mostly, they do so with a look of quiet, stoic resignation on their faces. Then there's the pub, the local, a true cornerstone of British and certainly London life. For a pint of ale and a good old chat, it's where stories are shared and friendships are forged. London's been around for a fair old bit. A very long bit, actually, when you stop to think about it. The Romans started it all, those clever chaps, called it Londinium, which has a nice ring to it. They built roads and walls and goodness knows what else. You can still see bits of their handiwork here and there if you know precisely where to look, that is, hidden underneath all the new, shiny stuff that's piled on top over the years. Then came the many, many centuries of kings and queens. And plagues, don't forget the plagues, they were rather significant. Nasty business, those. And then, of course, there was the Great Fire of London in 1666. Whoosh! Up went a tremendous lot of the old wooden city in a terrifying blaze. So they had to rebuild it, didn't they? With more stone and brick this time, which was a sensible precaution, you'd think. It certainly made for a different, more solid skyline. Fast forward a bit, through more kings and queens and general historical hubbub. The Victorian era arrived with a bang. London suddenly became the biggest, busiest city in the entire world, the very heart of a vast and sprawling empire. Think of Sherlock Holmes' foggy, gas-lit streets and relentless industry. Lots and lots of chimneys puffing out thick smoke. It must have been quite a sight to behold, and quite a smell too, I should imagine. Progress, they called it, with a cough. The 20th century brought its own share of considerable dramas. 2 world wars, no less. The Blitz, when bombs rained down relentlessly from the night sky, but Londoners, as history has shown, they're a remarkably tough and resilient lot. They picked themselves up, dusted themselves off and rebuilt everything again, and now it's this modern, sprawling, ever-evolving metropolis, still with all those countless layers of history, just waiting to be peeled back like an old, endlessly fascinating onion. Section 4. Odd rules and cityways, London's laws and quirks. A city as ancient and storied as London is absolutely bound to have accumulated some rather peculiar laws over time, rules that probably made perfect sense once in a bygone era. But now, well, now they just sound a bit daft, don't they? It's all part of its unique charm, really, like finding an old forgotten coin down the back of the sofa. A little unexpected piece of forgotten times. These historical oddities certainly make it a more interesting place. For example, it's supposedly illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament. A tricky one to enforce, that, when you think about it. What are they going to do? Arrest the dearly departed? And another good one, you mustn't under any circumstances handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. What precisely constitutes a suspicious salmon, I wonder? Is it one wearing a tiny trench coat and a fedora, perhaps, or loitering near a high-security vault? The mind truly boggles. Then there are the more modern rules designed for a modern city. The congestion charge, for instance, is a famous one. You have to pay a fee to drive your car into the very centre of London on weekdays. An attempt to keep the notorious traffic from grinding to a complete and utter halt, which it still sometimes does, bless its congested heart. And there are endless rules about what you can and can't do on the tube. No singing mostly, which is probably for the best. These laws, both the ancient and the new, all add to the distinct character of the place. They reflect its long and winding journey through the centuries, from ancient royal decrees to thoroughly modern-day solutions for a bustling, overcrowded global city. It's a constant reminder that London isn't just bricks and mortar, buildings and people. It's a living, breathing, evolving system with its own funny, endearing and sometimes baffling little ways. Section 5. Tucking in London's food, drink and cultural hotspots. Now let's talk about something really important, food. For many years, British food had a bit of a, shall we say, unfortunate reputation, mostly for being a bit, well, bland and uninspiring. But London has galloped ahead in the culinary stakes. It's a genuine food lover's paradise now, no question about it. You can find pretty much anything your heart desires to eat. And your stomach, of course, which is rather important for overall happiness, I find. You've still got your wonderful, comforting classics, naturally. You can't beat a good old fish and chips, can you? Preferably doused in salt and malt vinegar, wrapped in paper if you're lucky for that authentic touch, or a hearty Sunday roast with enormous Yorkshire puddings the size of small hats. And the legendary full English breakfast. Enough calories in one of those to keep you going all day, and possibly well into the next day too. But the real vibrant excitement in London's food scene is the incredible global kitchen. This is all thanks to all those wonderful people from all over the world who've made London their home. Fancy a curry? Brick Lane is your spot. An explosion of amazing aromas. Want Turkish, Greek, Vietnamese, Nigerian, Ethiopian? London's got it, and then some. Borough Market is an absolute must-see and must-taste. Stalls groaning with artisan cheeses, cured meats, fresh breads and strange, wonderful, delicious things. And it's not just about eating, though. That is a very fine pastime. London's cultural scene is simply immense, almost overwhelming. The West End theatres glitter every night with spectacular shows, musicals and serious plays. World-class museums like the British Museum or the Tate Modern, they're absolutely stuffed to the rafters with priceless treasures and astonishing art. And so many of them are free to enter, imagine that. Access to world-class art and history, and it doesn't cost a single penny to get in. Remarkable, really. Section 6. Conclusion: why London lingers in the heart. So, there you have it. A little whirlwind tour of the grand old city of London. It's a city that's truly impossible to capture completely in just a few words, or even in a few thousand, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's simply too big, too wonderfully varied, too utterly full of unstoppable life. It just keeps surprising you, doesn't it? Around every single corner there's something new to discover, or something very, very old that you hadn't noticed before. It's the magnificent mix of it all, I think, that makes it so special. The grand, imposing history sitting right next to shiny, often startling modernity. The quiet, leafy parks offering a peaceful escape just a stone's throw from impossibly bustling streets. The countless voices from every nation on earth all chattering away, creating a unique urban symphony. It's a city that never really seems to sleep, though I'm sure some people try their best, especially after a particularly large, full English breakfast. Of course, it's not perfect. What city truly is, when you get down to it? It can be eye-wateringly expensive at times. It can be terribly crowded, especially during tourist season. And the weather can be, well, let's just say, typically British and leave it at that. But there's an undeniable energy here, a palpable resilience, a widespread sense that almost anything is possible if you put your mind to it. It's a city that has seen it all, truly, and it's still here, still vibrant, still surprisingly welcoming. London has a peculiar, insidious way of getting right under your skin, in the best possible sense. It's more than just a collection of famous landmarks and tourist attractions. It's an experience, a feeling, a grand old dame of a city with a mischievous twinkle in her eye and countless stories to tell. And that, I suppose, when all is said and done, is why it remains so utterly, wonderfully and enduringly beloved by so many. She's quite something, that London. If you enjoyed this journey through London, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.